Hey everyone, this is Anna, and thanks so much for visiting my channel. I thought we would hop in the golf cart, pop on down to the garden, and see what is growing. The nice thing about the garden is everything, with exception of the blueberry bushes and the fruit trees, I have started from seed. So I absolutely love watching everything grow, knowing that it started in little seed packets in our house earlier this year, and it's just amazing to watch how the garden comes together throughout the spring and summer. Here we are arriving at the garden, and everything is growing in nicely. Some things are just getting started, some things are coming in really well, and then there's lots of space in the garden yet for some of our summer crops, which we'll be putting in the garden soon. This is a red marigold, which is beautifully catching the rain in its petals. Here is a mammoth dill, which was a volunteer from last year. I grew dill and this one came back. This is a row of cauliflower and kale, and it's red Russian kale, some blue curly kale, some volunteer sunflowers from last year, and also some scarlet kale down at the end. This is purple cabbage, and the leaves are just starting to curl, so hopefully these will start putting on their heads soon, their little red cabbage heads. Here is a row of scarlet kale and blue curly kale, also with some early broccoli behind, and a row of snap peas. This is one of our favorite lettuces to grow. It is speckled trout, and it's very delicious, and it's so beautiful, and it's also a very good grower. So those things all make it a winner in our garden. We'll continue to grow it every year. This is a row of snap peas enjoying the rain, and down in front you can see some little carrot tops. I'm excited for the peas this year. They're one of my favorite things to eat. Right fresh off the vine in the garden. Here is another look at that speckled trout. There is a row of red romaine lettuce coming in on the left, and the larger plants are golden cabbage. And here again is that speckled lettuce. I just think it's so beautiful. I love the pattern on the leaves. I also planted some pansies in the garden this year. They're adding color to the garden while we wait for these summer flowers to come in. And the tomatoes are all looking wonderful. This is an entire row of black crim, which is my favorite slicing tomato. There's some calendula down at the end. There's some potatoes that were growing in the black tubs, and some volunteer sunflowers. And here is a look at that black crim blossom, and there's a little bit of leaf curl on this particular plant, which is not too uncommon for the black crim variety. But it'll straighten out. It'll be just fine. Here's a look down into the center of a cauliflower, and I'm hoping these start putting on their flowers soon. The garlic is doing well. We have 3 or 4 rows of garlic. And this is sage. I planted this here last year and it came back this year. So things that come back perennial year after year are always nice. They take a little bit of work out of the garden. That's early broccoli there behind it, and also some snap peas and kale on the right. This is the other side of that snap pea row. They are looking gorgeous, and you can see the carrots there on the left-hand side. Another pansy that we have planted in the garden, this beautiful purple and orange faced flower, is beautiful against a backdrop of bunching onions. And the peppers I grew this year are all sweet peppers, and I'm looking forward to them as well. This is my favorite garden variety. This is Pixie. And here is another look at the purple cabbage, and there's some cauliflower and broccoli there as well, and in the background you can see some of our summer squash. This is carrots and some beets and lots of volunteer sunflowers. Here is a look at that great big dill that came back. It's so beautiful and full. And here's a little sunflower that's giving it its all. It came out between 2 boards of a garden bed. This is chamomile, and it's just about ready to bloom. It looks a lot like dill, but it puts on smaller daisy-like flowers. You pick them off and dry them, and you can use them in tea. The blueberries bloomed beautifully this year. A lot of them are pollinated. We have honeybees in the area, and now the little berries are starting to swell. This is a different variety of blueberries, and the flowers look slightly different, and it will put on berries slightly later in the year. And our cherry tree is putting on cherries this year. This is a Rainier cherry tree, and if you didn't know, the Rainier cherry was developed at University of Washington, and Washington State University, and was named after Mount Rainier in Washington State. And this is a shorter row of snap peas. There are some radishes up front, and some more chamomile, and some volunteer sunflowers. And then I have some tomatoes, some Walla Walla onions, and some red onions that overwintered and came back this year. This is the flower of a pink brandywine. And this is a row of beautiful tomatoes, volunteer sunflowers, and kale. There's still lots of space in the garden where I have things that I haven't come up yet, and then there's lots of spaces for some of our summer squashes and things like that too. And a quick look at the blackberry and raspberry patch, looking very lovely this year. So thanks so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this quick look at the garden, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye!